Recently you must have heard such news, which also went viral in many news media, that the scientist has discovered a serious disease which is eating away the male species from the inside, and I am talking about it at the DNA level, because of which we will soon become extinct. Well, you all must have read at school level that females are biologically born with XX chromosomes and males are born with one X and one Y, that is XY chromosomes. Now what is happening is that in the latest study of Kansas State University of USA, it has been observed that the genetic data of the right chromosome, which is found only in males, that is, the information stored in that chromosome, is decreasing with every passing generation, which is alarming because till now this right chromosome of US men has already lost 97% of its DNA code, and now only 3% is left. Meaning the matter is clear. If this trend continues, there will be no men left and the entire human race may collapse. Well, today's video is going to be very interesting because we will not just go into the headlines of the news media, but we will go to the very DNA of the matter, and that too in very simple language, so that all the secrets of this complicated world can be revealed, and along with that we get to learn many new things about ourselves. What is going to be the future of us humans? Let's begin. So understand it like this. DNA is the most basic structure. You can understand it like a brick, which is very important for building a house. Now, if I cut these long chains of DNA at specific places, then these special pieces are called genes. These genes are like those special walls made of bricks that when the bricks are taken together, a bedroom wall is formed, or a bathroom wall is formed, or a kitchen wall is formed. The walls or clusters of DNA are called genes. Information about our physical features is coded in these genes. Now, the structure that connects and maintains all these together is the chromosome. This is the same house that includes all those walls. Both DNA and genes are included. Well, these chromosomes are always found in pairs. There are 23 different pairs of chromosomes in each of our cells, but this question must be coming to your mind. Why always in pairs? For example, let us take the case of chromosome number 1 of humans, which is the largest in size and has about 3,000 genes present in it. Now, during human reproduction, 23 unique chromosomes come from the mother's side, and 23 similar chromosomes also come from the father's side. Now, when the sperm and egg get fertilized, chromosome 1 from the mother's side goes and joins with chromosome 1 coming from the father's side because both have the same genetic data. Similarly, chromosome 2 also comes from one mother's side and one from the father's side, and together they will form legs and so on and so forth. What happens is that genes carrying similar genetic data in the chromosomes join together, get linked and fuse. Now, assume that the genes that decide height are also linked to each other. The gene that comes from the mother's side is the tall gene, and the gene from the father's side is the short one. Now, if the tallness gene on the mother's side is dominant, then the child will be born tall. So for natural selection to take place, it is necessary for these chromosomes to be in pairs, and that is why they are found in pairs. Now, this sequence of similar pairing continues from the first to the second chromosome. These chromosomes keep connecting with each other. And don't forget, only those two chromosomes which have the same genetic data and are coded in the same sequence will pair together to form a pair. That is why they're also called autosomes. So far we have talked only about chromosomes with 1 to 20 pairs, which are called autosomes. Humans also have a 23rd pair, which is completely different from the rest of the autosomes. In fact, because they do not come in similar pairs, they are not even called autosomes. These are called sex chromosomes. These sex chromosomes come in two unique combinations, X and X, which gives birth to a female child, and X and Y, which gives birth to a male child, because that chromosome is present only in males. That is why during reproduction, if the Y chromosome is passed from the father's side, only then a male child will be born. Otherwise, if the X chromosome comes from the father's side, a female will be born naturally. And that is why the chromosome that comes from the father's side decides the sex of the child to be born. Well, let's focus a little on why chromosomes don't have twins, meaning it cannot recombine itself or update its software by linking, attaching, or joining with anyone, just like the other chromosomes can do, which basically means, as it is passed from our grandfather to our father and from father to us. And that is why in genetics or forensics it is easier to trace the paternal lineage, that is, male ancestry of any person. And this is the X and sex determining system. Interesting, right? Well, many people might think that the X system is found only in humans, but it's not like that at all. This is actually a very common sex classifying system that is found in almost all mammals and even some other animals. Well, now there is an opposite system like this, the ZW system, where the W chromosome coming from the mother's side determines the sex of the child. This is completely opposite to our system, because in us the Y chromosome coming from the father's side decides the gender of the child. But here the W chromosome on the mother's side decides. This ZW system is mostly seen in birds and reptiles. That means maternal lineage is followed here. So all in all, both these systems exist in nature. So now this question will naturally come to your mind, that what is the meaning of knowing this? Why is the ZW system important to us? Well, because over the years, the W chromosome has already gone through exactly the same crisis that our male's Y chromosome is going through today. The genes on the W chromosome have also decreased significantly over the years, which I think points to a very common pattern in nature. Both the Y and W chromosomes are alone in their reproducing chains. They do not have any twins. Without a twin, they cannot recombine and update their DNA. Due to this, destructive features start developing in the species. And history is full of such examples. In ancient Egypt, there were kings who were called Pharaohs. He was actually considered like a god, and that is why they had to keep their bloodline, that is, their blood pure. Due to this, they used to marry only within their own family, within siblings or their cousins, so that only a child with the royal bloodline is born. This is basically called inbreeding, but here, forget about inbreeding, it had even reached the level of incest. A similar case also happened with the Habsburg family of old Europe. They were also a royal family who did inbreeding in every generation, due to which a unique genetic disorder feature developed in the entire family. Everyone in his entire family had a crooked jaw. This genetic disorder feature was so frequent in his family that it was specifically named Habsburg Jaw. Along with this, other genetic diseases such as growth disorders, epilepsy, dementia, and other types of mental disorders were also seen in this family. Even when the Parsis first came to India due to inbreeding among their close relatives and cousins, many genetic and neurological disorders started appearing in the Parsi community as well. So if we look globally, abnormalities have been observed in many races or species on different timescales. The main reason for this has been that whenever a child is born through inbreeding or incest, almost the same genes come from both the parents. What happens is that during recombination, the weaker genes and genetic defects cannot be updated and they get carried forward to the next generation as well. And then these genetic abnormalities get passed on to the future generations and the situation goes from bad to worse. Finally, such complicated and destructive DNA codes are created, which produce destructive features that can destroy the entire lineage. And this was the reason why the Egyptian pharaohs, who were once considered as gods, could not even save their own lives and ultimately lost their kingdoms. So what we learn from history is that it is necessary for genes to keep updating their errors by recombining. And if this does not happen, they start degrading. There is a simple funda in the language of nature. Either you are growing or you are dying. And that is why scientists are expressing concern that now the Y chromosome of males is also degrading in exactly the same way. So will our end be like some of the cases mentioned earlier? Will the price of being special have to be paid by our men's Y chromosome in the form of a gift of death? If you like this video clip, then don't forget to check the full video. The link is in the description below.